the coming weeks, if the federal government of Nigeria is to be believed, we'll see terror groups eliminated by December this year. We heard the reaction to that from Hakeem Baba Ahmed, spokesman of the Northern Elders Forum, a group that's been calling for President Buhari to step aside over his poor handling of security matters. Also on the program, we heard just now from Chief Dan Ulasi, who described Peter Obi as nothing more than a spoiler in 2023. Well, let's get an assessment of all that, and this wouldn't be Arise Prime Time without the presence of our analyst to give his personal perspective on the news and issues we've discussed today. And I'm joined for the rest of the program by Arise News analyst and former chairman of the editorial board of Daily Trust newspaper, Mahmud Jega. Great to see you, Mahmud.
Thank you.
And let's start with Dr. Hakeem Baba Ahmed. He talked about the security situation and the promise of the government to make a difference by December. He didn't think that was a good idea. What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, I listened to him. He did say that the group appreciates the successes that have been recorded in
that a deadline is not a good idea
by the military, but that it was not a good idea to set a December deadline. And I absolutely agree, because it is very, very unlikely that in December we will stand up and say terrorism is over in the country. And the government has given its critics a weapon, because people now say, well, it is December and there was kidnapping yesterday or this. So it is better to concentrate on the effort that is being made, which is already showing results, and to continue. And you can assure us, but really it was not a good idea to set a deadline, yes.
And he was, of course, also talking with regard to politics and 2023. He was talking about the fact that the North was saying that, you know, at least the Northern Elders Forum is saying that the region carries the scars of voting somebody in, it didn't quite go well, and that this time they don't want to have any association at all with any candidate except those with integrity, competence, and compassion. And he was saying stay away from ethnicity and religion. What do you make of all that?
It's easier said than done. Of course, like the Buhari administration and the APC people think of the Northern Elders Forum as adversarial.
Yes.
Because from all their statements over the years, some of it, of course, resonate very well with ordinary people, like the campaign to get the region and the country as a whole to become more secure, and for the government to do more in fighting insecurity. That one resonates very well. But sometimes when you stray into the politics, like asking the president to resign, you know, maybe members of APC and their supporters may not entirely agree. And also when you say we should no longer play, you know, politics of ethnicity and religion, well, it will be good if we don't do that. And that applies not only to the North but to the whole country, and also the virtues that he outlined that we should be looking for: competence, honesty, integrity. Yes, very good. That's ideal. But in the end, we have to choose one among the candidates that we have, and everybody will apply this criteria differently.
Yes.
And probably think the candidates he support is the one that has those virtues. So when it comes to the nitty-gritty, there will be disagreement. But at the level of theorizing, everybody will agree that yes, that's what we should go for.
Yes, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Let's move on to Chief Dan Ulasi, who just left that seat a minute ago. He has said quite loudly, and is generating a lot of controversy as a result of that, that Peter Obi, a vote for Peter Obi will not lead the Southeast to victory. In other words, that they will not win the presidency if you vote for Peter Obi, and that voting for him essentially means voting for Tinubu. What is your assessment of what he said?
Chief Ulasi is a very eloquent, very experienced politician, and also very loyal to his political party, which is the PDP. And what he said, essentially, you know, is saying, look, the Southeast in particular it's a bedrock of support for the PDP. It has been since 1999, and we shouldn't move out of that, because by his own calculation, the PDP candidate stands a good chance of winning next year's election, based on what he said, that most Northerners will vote for the PDP candidate. Whether that is true, I don't know, their own calculation, but he feels that this candidate is on the way to winning, and therefore the Northeast, the Southeast should better stay with him.
Which is why he thinks of PDP as a spoiler.
Exactly. Yeah. And other things that he said about, well, even if there is a massive vote for the Labour Party candidate in the Southeast, without corresponding support from other parts of the country, he will not make it to the presidency. Well, the supporters of the Labour Party might think that they have following across the country, but he doesn't seem to see it. I'm sure many other analysts are also doubtful. So what he said really makes strategic sense, especially for a PDP chieftain like
yes, but
like
the presumption, of course, is that things like the social media support, which is a very modern way of doing elections, doesn't count. And if you look at the CDD just did their new survey, and they're saying that that is actually going to be a major part of the determination of the 2023 election based on their survey. And what I didn't get to mention to him as well was the fact that the PDP, his party, has so much public wrangling at the moment, internal strife, that the party itself is divided.
Well, you know, he has been in politics for a long time, and he said he doesn't think the 2023 election is going to depart in any fundamental way from the way we have been doing politics in Nigeria since the beginning of this republic. You tried to argue, you know, about maybe the modern method and all that, but he
dismissed that.
He dismissed that, which is not surprising for an experienced politician like him. And really, the answer to that question will only come when the results are in.
Absolutely. And of course, that answer will have to wait in any case, because we're out of time. But I want to thank you very much indeed, Mahmud Jega, who is an Arise News analyst. I wish we had more time. Always good to talk with you. That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.